I don't know how to describe it other than like a demon type of sound.
But it's silhouetted, hulking, every bit of 5.5 feet wide, 13 to 14 foot tall, pitch black.
The one thing that ran through my mind when I had this encounter was I don't have a big enough gun.
Your host, two-time witness and field researcher for more than 40 years, William Jevning. Welcome to Creek Devil.
Hello everyone, welcome to another edition of Creek Devil. We have Karen with us today. Karen, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How's everybody there?
Good. Tom, you spoke with Karen, so I'm going to have you take the lead on this.
Okay. Karen, you and I spoke, was it Sunday or Monday? It was
Monday.
Monday. It was exactly about an hour after you had a face-to-face encounter. And just to set the stage a little bit, you have a yurt in your backyard, which I think you said it's several hundred feet from the house. And
about
about 500 feet, okay. And you camp out in that. And this thing was torn up. The yurt was torn up. I've got pictures of it, so I'm going to post those on the web. And you had a face-to-face encounter with this thing, and it was terrifying.
Yes.
Hey, folks, I forgot to mention that Adam's with us also, folks, so he's our good friend and filmmaker, so sorry to interrupt. Go ahead and continue, Tom.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead, and Karen, if you could, and when you and I spoke, you were pretty shook up, which is understandable. I mean, when you have an encounter face-to-face with these things.
I was crying like a little girl. He's put it nicely.
Okay.
I was crying like a girl.
Yes, you were, well, for good reason. So if you could take us back, fill us in, tell us what happened, what led up to that point, and then kind of describe what happened.
Okay. So it's my own fault. Let me put that out there. Because I had seen on one of the shows that they really like peanut butter. And because of my experience in southern Ohio, I guess I noticed things, around my house. And I've been noticing grass scrunched down and just different things here at this house. And so I thought, well, if I put this peanut butter in a tree really high up, I will know once and for all that I'm not crazy or just Bigfoot crazy. So that's what I did. So the peanut butter was gone, and that happened like 3 times. I didn't realize how bad of an idea that was. So Sunday night, I put some more peanut butter out there, and I went up to the yurt. It's right next to my yurt. I don't even know why I chose that spot. I guess because there's that hole. Tom, did you see where that natural cave is? Did I send you that picture?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Do you see how close it is to my yurt? It's literally, if you came out of the hole, you could step up on my yurt porch. There's not even a porch step. I didn't know that when I put the yurt up. So anyway, I went up there to look, and the peanut butter was gone, and the yurt was torn up, and I was like, well, that's weird. Maybe he fell into it. Now, later I realized, had he fallen into it, the whole yurt side would have been down. So that's what I was thinking. And I thought, well, regardless, I'm going to take some pictures and so I can show, my husband and my kids, So I came down, I got my camera. And I do this certain whistle. Well, I think you've heard me mention that a few times. I do a very distinct whistle every time I'm out there. And I did the whistle. I went up and I took my pictures. And I turned around and stepped off of the porch and looked to my left. I don't even know if something caught my eye over in my side vision, my peripheral vision. So I looked over to my left, and there he is, standing there. And Tom, what did we say? What are 3 cars? Is that 30 feet?
About 30 feet, yeah.
Okay, so he was about 30 feet from me. he was just standing behind this tree, and it took me a minute to. I'm staring at this, whatever this is. I'm staring at it for a moment, and then its shoulder moved, and I saw the hair on it. That's when I saw the hair move, and my stupid self, I said, "Oh, is that you? Wow, that's you. That's really you." And his shoulder had moved again, and I took flight. I don't know. That's when I think it hit me what it was that I was looking at. That's when the hair became distinct, and I saw that he's huge, standing behind a tree. He's red in color, and I flew as fast as I could down to the house. And like I said, I just knew he was behind me. I just knew any minute this hairy hand was going to grab me, but it didn't. I got in the house, and I was just terrified, crying. I called my husband. He came home. Went running up there with a gun, and I was very angry about that. He didn't get to see him, but he did get to see the footprints and all of that. And then I was so upset and so angry. I just wanted to talk to you, Will, or somebody. I didn't know what to do. And so I called. I think I messaged you, Will, and then you called Tom or whatever, and Tom got a hold of me. And we talked. He calmed me down, and I sent him some pictures, and here we are today.
Karen. Yeah. Well, it sounds familiar, running from this thing back to the house, thinking at any minute it's going to grab you. Will, does that ring any bells?
Yeah, just one or two.
You just know it, don't you? You just know it. He's going to get you. He wasn't behind me, obviously. But I haven't seen him since. So I know it was him.
Karen,
There's no...
Yeah, and you said, you told me how tall it was, but so for the audience listening, how tall about was this thing?
I'm going to tell you what, he was every bit of 8.5, 9 foot tall. And I think 9 foot tall, but I'm kind of horrible when it comes to measurements. But I showed the tree to my husband, and I said, "How tall is that tree?" And he said, "Oh, that's 9 foot easy." And he was the very top leaves, the very top limb, was flush with his head. So he was 9 foot tall. Tom, I'll stand by the tree and send you a picture, and you guys can try to estimate how tall the tree is. I'm 5'2". Okay, I'll do that too. Yeah.
Hey, Karen, it's Adam. Karen, I got a quick question.
Adam.
I have a quick question, Karen. I'm wondering if you got a good look at its face, and if you could describe any expression it might have had, or any details you might remember about its face.
The problem is, I couldn't see his face. His hair, no. I had my contacts in. I should have been able, but his hair, I believe the wind was blowing his hair across his face, because, like I said, he kind of looked like Cousin It with arms. I could not see. All I could see was the hair. Long, straggly, crappy, matted hair.
Wow.
He looks nothing like the one at my parents' house. That one looks almost groomed, like he takes a bath and combs his hairy body and stuff. Honestly, he looks groomed. And this one just looked like Sigmund and the Sea Monsters. Like he had the long hair. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was just all long hair. I can't describe why. I don't know.
Now, the incident at your parents' house, that was the Ohio incident you were referring to?
Yes, this is all Ohio.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, Southern Ohio.
And the sighting, the recent sighting, what part of the country are you in now?
I'm 20 minutes out of Cleveland.
Oh, okay.
I'm in Medina. It is like I don't know, 40 minutes from Cleveland, 40 minutes from Akron. I'm right in the middle there. It's country. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's country. We have barns and outbuildings and things, and I don't know. But we have a lot of woods. My property is fenced off by woods, I guess you would say. Is that right? Or surrounded by woods? I don't know. Like we have a yard, and then all around the yard is forest, all of it. You know.
Are you near any national forests or anything, or any big?
No, these are
just there?
just like woods. Yeah.
Got it.
But here too, he's got everything he needs. We have a pond. We have a garden. We have 2 gardens. He has woods. You know, he's got everything he needs: cover, food, shelter.
Wow.
So,
Do you notice any of your food in your garden going missing, or
You know what? No. Yeah, no, he's not stealing it. But he, it could be him. I'm not certain about this. My compost pile, if I throw watermelons out there, it looks like he takes a knife and cleans that right down to that line. You know what I mean? He eats that watermelon smooth. So he takes advantage of the compost pile. But no, he's left my garden alone. He's left my kittens alone. I have little kittens out there. He leaves them alone. You know, I don't know. Somebody said it could have been a bear, but that's a very tall bear, a long-haired bear, let me tell you. I don't know.
Well, Aaron, here that's kind of the standard. Nothing against the skeptics out there, but a lot of people that are skeptical, they have to grasp for something that they can identify, and that's the only thing they can think of. Now you had mentioned that you saw footprints. Did you, by chance, get a chance to take any pictures of those?
Yeah, I sent those, but it's the weeds. It's matted down weeds. They're not like, we can't cast them. You know, it's like the weeds are matted down, like
I got that.
I don't know.
Okay, gotcha.
17 inches. Yeah, and then 3.5 feet from that is another matted down place. 17.5 inches. Yeah, it's not.
Okay.
So I mean, I could be mistaken by that, but it looks like footprints to me. If I'd have taken a picture of the whole line, but I'm pretty sure they're footprints, but I have to tell you, I'm guessing. But every 3.5 feet, there's that indentation, smushed down grass. So I would think that's where he was walking. Also, I forgot to tell you. Go ahead.
No. Yeah, you're doing great.
My son sleeps in the yurt sometimes. Well, did sleep in the yurt. And he woke up, he came in the house one morning and he said, Mom, is everybody okay? All the animals okay? And I said, yeah, I just fed them all. And I said, why? And he said, well, the coyotes went off, and then I heard that blood-curdling scream, and I just kind of laughed. I said, oh, that's not, nobody got killed, Adam. I said, that's the beast. And he said, oh, he's like, I knew it, I thought so, because he recognized that sound from my parents' house. The sound, when the coyotes are out there howling and doing their thing, and then all of a sudden you hear that blood-curdling roar, scream, roar. You
How
feel it
often
in your
do you
chest.
hear that scream? Is that a common thing, or?
It's common. It's common because we are farm country out here. There's cornfields all up and down my street. There's just everything. Trying to think. There's crops is what I'm trying to say. Everywhere, and we do hear that.
Okay, so that's I can't imagine that you're the only one who hears that, and other people have to wonder. I want to back up for a second. You mentioned
Okay.
something earlier that caught my attention, and that is, you say when you go out there, you would whistle. And what was the purpose of the whistle?
I guess just to let him know I was coming up there. And to be honest, I thought if I do this whistle, the same whistle every time, he's going to know that it's me, and that I mean him no harm. And this is when I thought it was okay to like see them. So I thought he'll eventually, in my mind, I'm thinking eventually he'll recognize that whistle and say, "Oh, Karen's out. Let me go to the edge of the woods and say hi to her." That's why I thought that it could be like a form of communication with him. And I whistle like that because I don't want to sneak up on him and have him scare the hell out of me. I'm sorry, scare me.
Scare the
So
daylights out of you.
Yeah, like he did. Exactly like he did.
Like he did.
It was not what I expected. I never expected to turn around and see that. Never.
Man.
I never expected it to be. Okay.
So just a quick question about the scream. You were about to say you never expected it to be, but I want to hear the rest of that. You never expected it to be what?
The red one. The red. I think that the reds are more aggressive than the other colors, just from what I've heard, or people telling me, things like, that thing was throwing rocks at me, and when I saw it, I said, what color? It's always red, or our house was being slapped all night, blah, 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 and then I saw something, it was red. It's always the red color when it's something aggressive or something to scare the daylights out of you, That's just my opinion. But I think that the red.
I'm going to jump in. Yeah, that's actually a really good observation. I'm gonna jump in with a thought and maybe a question for Will. But typically, the red ones are the more mature ones, and the black ones are juveniles or youngsters, and so they may not have developed the aggression or the overcome timidity and that's why I think we see a lot more activity from the older ones. Will, any thoughts on that?
Yeah, typically the younger ones are black. There can be some variation, but typically they are, and the older ones will be majority that reddish brown color. Sometimes brown, sometimes they'll stay black. On occasion, a gray or white one.
I wanted to jump in with a scream question if we have a second. Karen, you hear the scream a lot, and I'm wondering, does that, well, number one, if you've seen the movie The Legend of Boggy Creek, because in the beginning of that movie, they have the scream that's actually at the beginning of that movie is a recording of the Falk monster from that era, and I wondered if the screams that you're hearing have any comparison points to the one from the movie. Oh, did we lose her? Did we lose me?
No, you're there, Adam. Maybe we did. Let me see. Let me see if I can get her back real quick. Sometimes that happens. So we'll try just a moment here. Sorry about that, folks.
Hi, I'm so sorry, everybody. I don't know what happened. Are you there?
Yeah, we're here. Did you hear any of my question, Karen, or?
No, not at all.
Oh,
okay, I'm sorry. Let's go back to that question.
We'll back up a minute. We'll take a peanut butter break real quick. So you were talking about the scream, and I wondered if you'd ever seen the movie The Legend of Boggy Creek, because at the beginning of that movie, they have the monster screaming. They have audio of the monster screaming, and that's actually a recording of the Falk monster
yes.
down in that region.
And that's what we hear. That's what we hear.
It's the same kind of scream, or are they practically identical?
It's like a roar and a scream, and I say that because it's guttural. It's coming from his diaphragm. He's filling up those big lungs, and when he blasts that thing out, I swear you would be able to feel it if you were close enough to him. You know, it's just that I don't remember exactly what that scream sounded like at Boggy Creek, but I do know if my sisters and I watch that, all of us like get goosebumps at that scream. It's very similar. You know, that's what I think of when I hear it. Like, oh God, chalk monster. You know.
Wow. Well,
I do think of him. And it's common enough, you know, that my granddaughters heard it. My son, myself, my husband, anybody who has slept in that yurt has heard that. And you think that I would get some equipment, go buy some equipment, you know, and record this stuff. Or I had my camera in my hand when I saw him up there in the field. And all I could think of is, why are you talking to him? Just get out of there, you know? And why didn't I just raise that camera? I'll tell you why, because I'd be afraid that he would charge me. Like, what's in your hand? You know, let's see what's in that hand of yours. You know, is it a gun? Or, I don't want him to charge me. So we have cameras set up now. We have cameras. We have field cameras. All the places where the grass is laid down. And, yeah. Because we've been sleeping in the yurt, my husband and I, and the motion light came on. So he's unzipping the window, thinking, I said, you're not going to see him. You're not going to see him. That's not the purpose of the light. The purpose of the light was hopefully to scare him away from the yurt, you know. But that never worked either.
Wow.
Yeah.
Karen, I got a comment and a question.
Okay.
So the comment is on the camera, taking a picture of these things. And I've said this time and again with on this show and also with people I've talked to. You know, when you're in the moment and you see one of these things and everybody says, well, why didn't you take a picture? Well, I don't need a picture to prove what's in front of me. And also I'm in a kind of a fight or flee mode. That picture is for your benefit, not mine. And so that is why, right? I think that's why a lot of people, it's like I've got other things on my mind, higher priorities at the moment than taking a picture, like surviving.
Like getting away.
Yes, exactly. So really, I think that's the way it is you know, we're just in that kind of fight or flee mode. And the camera is not a priority. Karen, one of the things that really kind of demonstrates this creature's aggression, and I will say it was aggressive, is your yurt was torn up.
Yes, it was. Like rent.
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
About it. Well, when I went down there, there, you know what? There was like little holes, beginning, and my husband said, you know, that yurt is pretty new. We take it down and put it up. You know, we only had it one summer last year. It's when we put it up, and he went to put it up this year, and everything was great. And then, like, there was a little hole, you know, up really tall. And he said, that cannot be dry rotted. I don't understand. And I said, well, apparently it is, you know. Then there was another little rip, all on the roof. All this is on the roof. So then I went up there, and it's like he took a hold of the corner and tore two panels almost off. Not really. He just tore big, huge holes in them, the panels. Like, you can't sleep in the yurt anymore. You get rained on. You can post those pictures, right, so people can see what I'm talking about. Can you post the pictures?
Absolutely, yes. Yeah,
the
pictures are going to get posted.
Yeah. So I think the little holes were probably him maybe putting his fingers through the yurt or something. Like, I don't know, maybe curious, like a kid, what happens if I poke this? And then when he got angry, he just said, watch this. And he tore it up. I'm upset with him over that.
Hey, Karen, I have a question about the cave, which you said was just a step away from the yurt.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how big is that opening? I mean,
I have to send you a picture of that.
Okay.
It's a natural. It's all wood. It's not actually a cave. I just call it that because that's what it looks like. But it's trees. It's all trees, and I don't know. I don't know if it's natural because he bent them. Something bent them. They're bent over, and it looks like a pup tent. Like a dome in there. And
okay.
you know what I mean? The trees are bent over to form a ceiling.
Oh my goodness.
I'll take better pictures of that for you. And inside the opening, wow, the opening, the front of it to get in is easy 6 feet. And the tallness of it, I have to bend over, and I'm only 5'2". So I think it's about 5 foot tall opening. I don't know how he gets his bigness in there, but he does. Because all that grass is laid down.
Wow.
Go ahead. Or maybe he gets there another way.
Well, so so when you said a cave, I was thinking of a hole in the ground, but that's not the case. It's trees that are bent over that are forming kind of a dugout that he's going into and
Absolutely.
Okay. Before the yurt was there, were you noticing any activity around your property?
Yes. I noticed the weeds laying down in the backyard. I was in the laundry room one night and had a pebble thrown at the window. My husband and I were watching Bigfoot shows on TV, and I'm telling you, he can't hear. So he has the TV up so loud, and our windows were open, and all of a sudden a Diet Coke can came flinging to the window, hit the window hard. I had a softball thrown at me. And I said, I thought that the neighbors' kids were playing softball, and then somebody pointed out, well, that ball, they would have to have like professional baseball league strength, because that ball, when it hit the house, I mean, everybody heard that, it hit hard. And that was the day we put up
sounds like it could be a good replacement for Nolan Ryan, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, right. That was when the softball got thrown at me was literally the day we put up the yurt. And we were having a little barbecue. And that's when he threw the softball at me.
Sort of an expression. Yeah.
Yeah, wow. He doesn't like that yurt, apparently.
It sounds like, how long ago how long has the yurt been up there?
This summer, you mean? How long has it been up there this year? Like, we only put it up. Put it up last year, like July 31st last year. We put it up, and it stayed up until almost November, because I know I decorated it for Halloween, because we had that warm weather here in Ohio. We had like 70-some degrees in October. And so we didn't take it down until...
so it's seasonal then?
Yeah. We put it up and take it down, and take it down and put it up, yeah.
So we're
and then this year... What's that?
Go ahead, Karen. Well, what I was wondering is...
Go ahead.
Okay, so real quick, I'll just ask the question. So what I was wondering was, when did what year was it when this thing threw the baseball at you, the softball?
2019. It was last summer.
Okay, so it's not been that long.
No.
Okay.
And then this year, the year
that
was winter time, so also well, that would have been 2018, is when the pillow got thrown and the Diet Coke can got thrown. And that was like winter time. No, it wasn't. It was fall because that window was open. So it was still last fall. So that would have been.
Now, Karen, you and I talked about one peculiar thing about the yurt, and that is not just the location, but what is the yurt sitting on?
Oh, a blueberry patch, which I did not know when we did that. Yes, a blueberry patch. And all the blueberries on top of the trees and everything is gone, you know. We're not picking them. You know, the neighbors aren't picking them. But they're gone. And I know that's probably why he threw the softball at me. Because he thought, you know, those are my blueberries. And you just did that. I mean, that's my guess anyway.
Sounds like, yeah. Well, it sounds like there's some objection to the location. If you were to relocate that, I'm not telling you what to do, but I'm just curious if you were to relocate it away from how far does the blueberry patch extend? In other words, would you be able to move it, still be able to, you know, spend your nights there, but not be on top of the blueberries?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, there's a lot of land here, so yeah, that wouldn't be a problem, and that's exactly what's going to happen. I'm not going to argue with this guy, you know?
Right.
You know, I'm just not. So he can have the blueberry patch.
He's got to go on a peanut butter starvation diet. No more peanut butter, right?
Yeah, he's not. Yes, absolutely, yeah. I've already put the word out about that, too. You know, I didn't even think about that. I just thought, you know, I heard he loves peanut butter. He leaves my cats alone. You know, I'm going to throw him some peanut butter out there because I love animals so much, you know. Well, I didn't know that he was an ungrateful little crap. He's ungrateful. He's not getting any more.
Karen, that's the end of that. What fascinates me is your location. You're in Ohio, okay, and Ohio, Pennsylvania. Actually, I think historically have a long history of these things. And the question I want to ask you is, there's a term called the Ohio grassman. Are you familiar with that term? And
yes, I am.
If so, okay, can you elaborate on it? Like, where did it come from, and what's the lore behind that?
I don't know where the grassman came from. They call him the grassman because I believe, I could be wrong, I believe they call him the grassman because he's got the fungus or whatever, that greenish stuff that gets on his fur. Have you ever heard of that? That some of them have bacteria or something, that greenish he has that natural camouflage, and he is prone to, they love fields with the high weeds, you know, that's where we always see them. Anyway, you know, it's always, if it's not in the woods, you can't. People have seen them out in these fields, you know. But that's really my opinion. I'm not sure to either of those questions. I don't know. And they say that the grassman smells like skunk, and I think he's shorter than the Bigfoot. But I don't know. I've never seen one. I've never encountered one.
Okay, so you think maybe those are two separate creatures, the grassman versus, I was always under the impression that the Ohio grassman was just another term. It was a regional term for the Bigfoot. Yeah, right.
I think that too. But when people are reporting him, you know, he's 6 foot or 7 foot tall, you know, and I know this thing I saw, oh my goodness, was so big. That's what made me cry. He was so big. And I feel like if I laid sideways on his shoulders, that I would fit perfectly. But that's not true. I mean, he just has shoulders so big. Oh my God. It just looked like, I don't know, it just looked so big. So big. it just wowed me. That's all.
Right.
Still can't get over it.
Bulk. Could you see its arms?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
Yep, I saw that.
Tell me a little bit. Were they massive, or tell me a little bit about the arms and the hands if you saw those?
The arms were, they were long and muscular, really muscular. I mean, this was a big boy. I say it's a boy. It could have been a big girl. I don't know, but I did not notice breasts, so I'm gonna just say boy. He's just huge, and his arms were down on his side. They were just long, and I noticed them because, like I said, the wind, or he moved his shoulder or something, but where his hand was bulkier, and then as I looked down, it had to be the end of his hand and the beginning of, what I could see of the leg. You know what I'm trying to say?
No, absolutely. And it was standing kind of behind this tree, right? The little tree, the 9-foot tree that you're talking about. Okay.
Yes.
So you
and
could
it's a very thin.
see...
The tree is it's new. It's the trunk of the tree is probably 6 inches in diameter. It's a brand new maple tree. So it's tall, but the trunk is very small, and the limbs are super thin. So it was very easy to see him clearly behind that tree.
Oh. Karen, did you get a look at his feet for any details noticed there? No? Okay.
No, he was, in the grass. Too far away from me.
Gotcha.
But I don't know what I would do if I ever saw him again. I don't know, because I don't know his temperament. The one at my mom's doesn't really frighten me as much, But when I saw that this one was red, and everything I've heard and read about the red ones, I just thought, it figures. It just figures. It couldn't be like the gentle giant, That's when I got really scared. But he's never screamed at me. He's never, yelled at me, So I don't know.
It sounds like the only activity you guys do in the evening that's maybe a little bit off schedule is sleeping in the yurt, as far as what I've heard. So maybe his normal routine is he's nocturnal and he's all over your property at night when you guys aren't around, and during the day, you're all over your property when he's not around or he's close enough to stay out of sight.
Yeah. Yep.
Interesting.
And we crossed paths. Yes.
Quick question here. Are there other creatures in your area, and have you talked to anybody? Are there other individuals out there that are seeing these things?
The Bigfoots, I've talked to people who've seen them, yeah. There was a young man who worked at, it's called MTD, they make lawnmowers and things, and his job was to work third shift and test lawnmowers. As they came off the line, just like a couple of them, and so he was mowing, testing out the lawnmower, and he said he came by this pavilion, and part of it was blacked out. Like, you could see the street light shining through the pavilion, except for this one corner of it. So he thought that was odd, and when he had to turn, his headlights hit it, and he said he just saw bulk and hair. So I guess he went around the other way and kind of up a hill so he could tilt the headlights up and saw the eye shine. And he said he almost jumped off with the lawnmower and ran because he thought he could get away faster. His name is Chris, and he almost quit his job, literally. He wrote the letter to put his 2 weeks in, but he wouldn't hand in the letter because he was afraid of ridicule. Just, say I'm leaving my job because, I think I saw a Bigfoot on the property. So there's him. I know a couple people that were fishing and heard the wood knocks and the whistles out at Spencer Lake. There was another person who saw at the MTD where that Chris guy saw something. Another young man named Sean. They were like four-wheeling in the woods, and he saw one. He looked at his face, and then he told all the guys, and they were going to try to like chase it with the four-wheelers. But Sean left the group and came home. It terrified him like that. So people are seeing them. They are, and they're definitely hearing them. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm going to comment for just a moment on the reaction that people get. You know, the gentleman, his name was Chris, that was mowing the lawn, and he sees one of these things in the headlights of the lawnmower, and he was thinking about quitting. We hear that a lot. I mean, quite a bit, where people in their occupation. There was a logger in Northern California that had one of these things come out and throw a tree at his truck.
Oh.
And when the guy got back, that was it. He just walked and said, "I'm done with this."
Oh yeah, I would. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. There was and going all the way back to the Happy Camp days. I have a relative that his father worked in that area, and they had encountered these things, and a lot of the employees were the Native Americans, and they just walked away and said, "That's it, not coming back." So
he's terrifying.
Yeah,
he doesn't have to do anything to make you care.
No, they don't.
You know what I mean?
All you have to do is see them. I know exactly what you mean. I've never met anybody who's actually seen one of these things that came back and said, "Oh my gosh, that was the most wonderful thing. I can't wait to do it again."
Not me. I'm going to bake him some cookies. Nope. Nope. It's changed my life. This Bigfoot thing has changed my life. I don't go anywhere unless I'm in the city. I will not go outside at night. My husband literally has to walk out. If my car, where I park my car, is probably 12 feet from my front door. But he can't watch me through the window. He has to come out to the car and get me. It's changed my life. I don't do anything outside at night, and I certainly don't do anything alone out at night. Unless I'm in the city, you won't see me outside. You know, everybody wants to have bonfires. Yes. Yeah, I'm not doing it.
I'm with you.
I'm not going out there. Nope. Thank you anyway. But he's like changed my life. I will not be sleeping in the yurt for the rest of this year. That's for sure. You know, it bothers me, but then again, I mean, you know, you got to coexist somehow.
Oh yeah. Well, I got a quick question, Karen. What's your husband's take on all this business? Is he on the same page with you? Or?
Yes. At first, he was just kind of pacifying me. You know, he knew that I really believed in Bigfoot, and he wouldn't dare make fun of me. You know, and he doesn't let people make fun of me. He'll tell people, "Hey, she takes that real serious." You know, and I believe her because of how serious she is about him. You know, and then he didn't get to see the red one the other day. He did go up there and try to see him, but he has seen all the evidence. And he's a hunter and a tracker, and he's told me, he's like, "Yeah, you've got something out here, stuff I've never seen before." You know, so he's definitely on the page with me. He wants to see one so bad, and I keep trying to tell him, "No, you don't." But, you know.
Karen, I got a question. Your backyard, I'm a little bit curious. So where this tree line is, where you saw this thing, what's beyond that? Is it kind of a forested area? Is there a green belt? Is there some way for this thing to travel? Is there some woods back there where it can travel sort of concealed?
It's all woods, and they go for miles.
Okay.
They go for miles and miles, yes. Like the street over, like I said, we're in the country, so a country block can take you 20 minutes to get around, you know, because the streets are far apart. But the street that behind us, it's called, let's see, there's Stone Road, and that one's called, oh my goodness, anyway, Keller.
Well, it's better. Well, that's better. We don't want to tell people where it's at, but and I agree. A country mile is not a city mile.
Right, and those trees go clear back to that street. So they go for miles.
If anybody goes back there looking for this thing, be sure and tell them to take a ham sandwich with them so they can toss it at the creature and run.
Take peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Or watermelon. He loves watermelon.
Oh,
but yeah, that's what happened.
Karen, is there like a creek or a natural spring that's like, you know, in the vicinity of your property or that you might know of that's around there?
Yes, we have a pond. Yes.
Oh yeah.
And yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And it's spring fed.
Spring fed pond. Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's great.
He's got everything he wants.
Sure does.
Yes, he does.
Oh, you know, I wonder if there'd be any prints by by your pond, you know.
That too is grown up though. It's all.
Oh, okay.
It is so thick. You couldn't walk. I mean, you can get to the pond, but it is so thick. I don't know. There's like ivy or something. I don't know what's there besides the trees, but you cannot see in it. It's so thick. Like maybe it's laurel or I don't know. But it's really overgrown. The woods are really, really overgrown. Do you know what I mean? Like
I do.
Yeah, they're whatever the stuff is blocks your way of getting into the woods. He has no problems, but I do.
Sure.
Trying to get in there. Yeah.
Karen, I got a question.
Okay.
So probably most of the trees out there in Ohio, I imagine in your property, I'm just going to guess, you have a lot of deciduous. You know, you're going to have your oaks and your poplars and maples and that sort of thing. So when the leaves fall and, you know, fall, autumn, and then winter comes on, do you still hear the sounds, the screams and the roars or anything like that during the wintertime?
No. It's as if he packs his bags and goes away. And then he doesn't come back right away. Or, you know, it takes a while for me to start noticing the grass being tramped down and to get that feeling like I'm being watched. You know, that takes a little while in the spring. But then when it happens, it's almost like I know when he's back. Because then all of a sudden you go outside, you feel like you're being watched again, you know. The cats act funny when they go outside to use the bathroom. The dogs act funny when they go outside to use the bathroom. Yep, he's back. I don't know where he goes.
Act funny? What are the dogs doing when they...
Like, well, the one is a little mini pincher. So she's a little dog and very friendly. But when she goes out to use the bathroom, she'll like start to run out the door and then hit the jammers and look over to the right. Everybody looks to the right when they go out. They always stop, look to the right, and then they're kind of like, oh, okay, it's okay, and then they'll go do their business, or they'll turn around and come back in. So even
what
the cat
is to the right? Okay. Oh, the cats
that's
too.
some more. Yeah, that's some more trees right off of my porch, and that's where my compost pile is. And that's where the matted down grass is. So I think he sleeps there.
Okay. What's to the left?
If he doesn't sleep in his the driveway. My car and just the driveway.
Gotcha. All right. So there's something off to the right that catches their attention. Interesting.
Yes. Every night. Yeah.
Wow. Karen, do you have cameras aiming in that direction? Or you had mentioned you put some cameras up. I'm wondering if they're looking at you.
I don't know. That's a question I'll have to ask my husband and get back to you on. I would imagine, because I asked him, I told him I need a camera here, I need a camera here, and that was one of the places I told him I would really like a camera. So,
nice. Okay.
I hope so.
Yeah.
And we were gonna put one in the yurt, but now he foiled our plans.
I don't know.
Karen, I just had an idea.
What's your idea?
I don't know if it's a good idea, but I'll run it by you. Will, you can nix this idea if you don't think it's good. Because these things are probably, I think, quite often they know where cameras are and they'll avoid them. However, he does like peanut butter. You could put peanut butter in the same peanut butter place, but put a camera at it, and then he's got a dilemma. Do I get the peanut butter and go on camera or not?
And the peanut butter will win.
Oh boy!
There you go. Then you get a picture.
I like that idea. Will, what are your thoughts?
Well, you could give it a shot. I'm not optimistic, but you can try it.
Okay. Well, here's the other thing. I don't give him peanut butter every day. I was just throwing a jar out there when I thought about it. Oh, I guess I'll get him some peanut butter today. So, just because I haven't given him any peanut butter since Monday, that's not going to create a problem. When I put the peanut butter out there with the trail cam, he'll just think, oh, finally, she gave me some peanut butter. You know what I mean? He won't know that he's being tricked. I hope.
Gotcha. Yeah. Well.
Yeah.
Well, he'll have to make a choice. Right?
That is really good, Tom. He will have to make a choice.
Yeah.
And I hope that hope he chooses peanut butter.
I do too.
He'll have to scratch in his fuzzy head. What do I do? But I will. I'll do that. Also, I told my husband, you could put the cameras inside the house, in a window. That way he can't destroy it, because I know they love to destroy cameras. That's a favorite pastime of theirs, I hear.
Oh,
so we were going to put one, like I said, in the yurt. But yes, I am, because I really want these pictures.
That idea, yes. Right?
Or even on the roof by the chimney and aim it down. I do. I got some good spots.
Heartbeat if he wants to.
Oh God, no! But I just thought we can just aim it down, and I felt like we'd get a pretty good picture, a pretty clear picture, if we had the camera on the roof aiming toward the. There's a moth buzzing me right now, and he's huge. We'd get a pretty good picture if it was aiming down to the yard, off the roof, I think.
You could, and if you really wanted to make it a double up on the dilemma aspect, 2 jars of peanut butter.
Yes. Like one higher and one lower, maybe?
Well,
temptation,
yeah. Well, think about this though. You strongly suspect he's eating the watermelon rinds out of your pile, right? Your compost pile. If you had a camera like inside your house that was just looking out the window at that particular zone, at that particular area, and you just do what you normally do, and you leave that. It's a 24-hour surveillance camera, right? So it just constantly records, I have one like that for my apartment. They're that's all reasonable. That technology's there. It's not expensive. But, that way you don't have to encourage him with peanut butter, which might be a think twice idea. But, he's already coming around to get what you normally throw into your compost pile. So you might catch him right there. You just have to remember to, when you notice the compost pile's been disturbed, is to go do the playback on your security camera and just, see if you've got a big fuzzy friend excavating.
Oh, gosh. I'm certain of that. Just the way the grass is matted down, and just the signs, that I've seen before. And, you know, I wish I could get some snowy footprints, but, Will, wasn't that you that said they use the trees in the wintertime?
They will sometimes.
Somebody told me that on the show. Jeremiah and myself and Lord, Don is the one that told me that. And I was just like, oh, please don't tell me stuff like that. You know, I feel like I've got to look over my shoulder, and now I've got to look up too. You know.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know.
Karen,
That's what happened. Okay.
Okay, and I think we sort of touched on this, but I just wanted to get a little bit of clarification.
Okay.
How long has this been going? How long have you had a suspicion that it's been out there, and how long have you had pretty reasonable evidence that this thing has been on your property?
I suspected it really about 2.5 years ago, and I started getting evidence about 2 years ago. I really started looking, you know. The first thing I noticed was the grass trampled down by the compost pile. That's the first thing I noticed, and I thought, here we go again. So I walked around the house, and of course, the grass is only trampled down where there's a window or a door that he can see into. So that's when I just knew, unless it's a peeping Tom, and I think he would be eaten by a dog if it was a human, you know. So
Sure.
one of them would get him. That's when I noted, you know, that's when I said, yep, here we go again. So
So prior to 2.5 years ago,
but
nothing, say 3 years ago, really nothing going on, or?
No, not. I mean, it probably was, but I was trying to ignore it because I know that people think that I'm just crazy. I know they do. Until now, you know, so I would just try to ignore the things myself. You know, like I'm not really seeing that, or I know that looks like it could be from a creature, but surely it isn't. You know. So I was noticing things as soon as we moved in. That was about 3 years ago, but nothing like now that I really start looking around. You know, the more you look, the more you see. So the strong evidence.
You said other people are, you know, have seen these things. Have you talked to your neighbors?
Mm-hmm.
Any of your neighbors mentioned anything, or anybody else mention anything besides your mom's house? Okay.
But I've already thought of that. I thought I'm going to ask them, like the neighbors. There's my house and then my yurt, some woods there, and then another house, you know, directly behind those woods. I want to talk to those people because if he's on my property, if he walks around the tree, now he's on their property. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I'm going to ask them what they know about this.
Might see if anything's digging in their compost piles, you know, just kind of
Mm-hmm.
start softly, you know, kind of back into it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I must tell you that while I'm sitting here, my window's open, my light is on, and the motion light just came on outside.
Wow.
And I don't see, I don't have a flashlight up here. I wish I had a flashlight to just shine out there right this instant, just to see. You know, I've been hearing little things, and then that motion light just came on. It's still on, but it's pitch black out there. So, and if I use the flashlight on my phone, I'm going to lose you.
I don't do that.
But now I'm going to start investigating that, and let me tell you, I will get pictures from. You know what I mean? I will. I feel safe, obviously, in my home, and if he's going to be creeping by that tree, I'll be creeping him in my bedroom window.
Well, Karen, put your phone on record just so you're taking video, and then just so whatever happens, he freaks you out, he shows up, he pops up in front, whatever unexpected thing happens, your camera's rolling. You don't have to use your brain and press buttons. It'll just be recording, so
Right.
you'll be there no matter what happens.
Yes. I'm going to. Okay. Ooh, sorry everybody. Did you guys hear that?
No.
Are you there? Okay.
I
Oh,
did.
good. I thought I lost you
No, didn't
again.
hear a thing.
Okay. I'm gonna slip down here and get a flashlight too. That'd be so great if I could just get a picture of him for you guys right now. See, I have a window. There's my bedroom with the window facing the front. When I walk down the hall, at the end of the hall, there's a window that faces the backyard and my compost pile. So I have really good lookout spots,
That's great.
So I'm going to get
Well, Karen, listen, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to go ahead. I want to thank you. And
Thank you.
Adam, as always, we appreciate having you on.
Thank you so much.
Well, thanks.
Karen.
I love doing it.
Any final thoughts? Any questions or thoughts from anybody?
I just want to say
Not
thank you,
me.
Karen.
Thank you. I appreciate you guys. And I appreciate, thank you very much for when it happened and I was so upset. Will and Tom, thanks for the support, the emotional support, because I needed you guys. I really did.
And if more
And I
happens,
really appreciate it.
if more happens, feel free to contact us.
Yeah, now I'm educated on this a little. I'm going to try to be more calm. And I'm going to get the GoPro, Will, and every time I go out my door, that GoPro will be on me,
Okay, very good.
Yeah. So hopefully soon I'll have some stuff. Okay?
All right, Karen, thank you.
Karen,
You have a
stay
great
safe.
night.
Thank you, you guys, too. Thank you very much. Good night.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Creek Devil. If you or anyone you know has had an encounter with these creatures, please contact us at williamjevning@yahoo.com. That's William, Jevning, @yahoo.com. All communication is confidential. Join us for another program next week. And until then, keep your eyes open out